extracting photographs or documents or spreadsheets or anything of that nature.
Okay.
Do you recall Mr. Neumeister mentioning?
I'm gonna mute it pause it because it's live, but I could catch up. I think he's probably one of the best witnesses that they called. Like the most, like he looked normal. He's talking with, confidence. He's not like the other guy, the doctor. He's not doing anything crazy. But I just want to know how he can help them with those two pictures of Amber that are clearly the same picture, but she said they're different pictures and she took them at different times, and one is edited, one is not. How can he help them with that? I'm going to just go back live.
I believe Mr. Neumeister included 3 of those in his demonstratives yesterday, 3 side-by-side photographs that looked visually the same but did not hash. It made sense that they wouldn't hash. Each of them had different file sizes. And a file size can change for a photograph depending on what you do with the photograph. So for example, maybe you want to take that photograph and email it to somebody, and on your phone, you choose to use a small, medium, or large, or different size of the photograph.
I said that.
When you send that email with that photograph, you've changed the hash value because you've changed the 1s and 0s because you've changed the size of the photograph.
I said that.
And what, if anything, do you recall from Mr. Neumeister's testimony regarding photos 3?
Mr. Neumeister was concerned about a particular metadata field, EXIF metadata, which there's 2 types of metadata for files. There's the embedded metadata, which is what we're discussing here, the EXIF metadata, and external metadata. And Mr. Neumeister was concerned with embedded metadata within the file that indicated that the software version that the file last ran through was Photos.
What is Photos 3.0?
Photos is actually the software application that's built into the Apple Macintosh operating system for laptops. This is the application that launches by default when you're on an Apple computer and use Photos.
What are the capabilities of Photos 3.0?
I never used
capabilities
Photos.
for it. You can, for example, create an album with it and put multiple photos within an album. You can organize or sort your photos by date and time.
Oh, so this is what they're bringing him in
also use
for.
that to edit photos.
You mentioned metadata earlier. What is that?
Metadata is information about a file. For example, with a document, it could be when was the document created or last saved or who.
And what, if any, data sets did you use to come to
I
that
need
I used all of the
this
datasets
guy right
that
here.
I collected or were collected for.
I'm sorry, I'm muting it. This guy right here is such a good lawyer. Everybody loves Camille, but this dude right here, I need him to ask him, how can you explain the same picture but with different colors and the same shadows, the same hair texture, everything the same? How can you explain these being different pictures then? I want him to ask something like that.
Demonstrative.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. It'll be published as a demonstrative.
Mr. Acker, can you please describe in more detail what the information in this chart? Michelle, if you could just stay at the top for a quick second. A little further up.
Okay, I'm probably going to skip a lot of parts.
Thank you.
In this video.
This chart represents for each of the items in Neumeister's report, which his demonstrative was based on. A001, that's her iPhone X, A002, her iPad, and it's not surprising
They're
to me
not
that I found
original.
all these on all the devices.
I gotta mute them. They're not original photos if they're backed up. Or I guess you can say that to like idiots, but they're not original photos if they're backed up. Period. I take a picture, boom, the one in my phone gets backed up to my cloud. The original photo is in my phone. The photo in the cloud is backed up. It's not the original photo.
Were created in this case were included log files that allowed me to validate and verify the evidence collected. I validated and verified the log files of the evidence for which I found Mr. Neumeister's original photos that he had concerns about, specifically the ones that had iOS in the software metadata field. I validated that those they are.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Uh-oh.
Cross-examination, sir.
Let's see what he asked.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, sir.
He's such a good lawyer.
You've worked with opposing counsel's law firm approximately 20 times before?
Give or take, yes.
For more than a dozen years?
Those 20 probably would have been spread out over more than a dozen years.
Okay. As you sit here today, you cannot testify that all of the photographs produced by Ms. Heard are authentic originals, correct?
Now, I can testify to the ones that Mr. Neumeister identified with specificity.
Right, but there were thousands of photographs provided that Mr. Neumeier didn't testify about, right?
I have no opinions on any photographs that the opposing expert has no opinions on.
All right. My question to
Good
you,
answer.
though, is, as you sit here today, can you testify that all the photographs produced by Ms. Heard are authentic originals?
As I sit here today, I cannot opine to photographs that have not been presented to me that are not authentic originals.
All right. You'll agree with me that in some instances, Ms. Heard produced multiple versions of the same photograph, right?
Yes,
Yeah, you just talked about it, right?
yes,
All right. And you'll agree with me that the XF data of some of the photos produced by Ms. Heard reflect the use of a photo editing application.
no.
No?
I'll agree that they show the use of the Photos application, which is a sorting and editing application.
Okay, so what you were quibbling with is that it will both sort and edit.
That is correct.
Okay. Are you prepared to swear under oath that each and every photograph provided by Ms. Heard and entered into evidence in this court is an authentic original?
Based on the metadata that I have reviewed of the specific photographs
answer.
I have reviewed, I can confirm that those are authentic original photographs. For the ones that Mr. Neumeister identified, I identified photos that were authentic originals.
No, I'm asking you a broader question than that. There were multiple photographs that Ms. Heard provided that were entered into evidence in this court. Are you testifying that those are each authentic originals?
I have no testimony or opinion on those because nobody's provided me opinion that they're not.
Okay.
Good answer.
Mr. Gibson, will you pull up Defendant's Exhibit 712 and Defendant's 713 next to one another? Your Honor, these have already been admitted, and I ask that we publish it to the jury.
This is the
Okay.
question I wanted him to ask. He's so good.
Can you see those, sir?
Yes, I can.
You'll agree with me that those are different pictures?
Visually, they look different to me, yes.
All right. We can take that down.
Why he ain't go deeper? Pause.
Mr. Gibson, can you pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1308? This has not been admitted, Your Honor, and I propose to use it as a demonstrative.
Was it admitted? Let's see what's going
Not as a
on.
demonstrative, Your Honor.
All right. Be identified and published to the jury as a demonstrative.
Uh-oh.
Any objection to entering it into evidence?
I would object it's cumulative, Your Honor. Actually, no. No objection, Your Honor.
No objection. All right, it's in evidence then.
1308 is in evidence. Mr. Gibson, can you blow up the time, date, and file name?
Oh, he's so good. He's so good.
Sir, you just agreed with me that those two photos are different photos, correct?
I agreed that they were visually different, yes.
Right. So they are two visually different photos that were created at the exact same hour, the exact same minute, the exact same second as each other, correct?
And that's what the daytime metadata shows, yes.
And the metadata shows something else too. They have the exact same file name, don't they, sir?
Yes, but that's not embedded metadata.
Right. How would you have this jury decide which one is real?
I think you would need to look at the software metadata field, which I haven't looked at. I don't recall if I looked at
Exactly.
the field.
Uh-huh.
I think that's what
Got
even
him.
Mr. Neumeister said, that you need to look at the software metadata field.
But we have two photographs entered into evidence in this court that have the same identifying information, but in your view, look visually different, correct?
I don't agree that they have the same identifying information. I don't see a software metadata field here.
The identifying information includes the hour, minute, and second they were taken, this picture were taken.
I see that.
No further questions.
All right, and just for the record, since we already have 712 and 713 in evidence as redacted, now this will be 712 and 713A. So 712A and 71213A are now in evidence, just to keep the record clean, okay?
Wow, that was
All
good.
right, redirect.
That was good. That was good.
You just mentioned embedded metadata.